Hey everybody, it's Roly and I am back. And so I am back with Amy this time. So Amy is another one of our speakers. So if you're catching the replay, hashtag replay, let us know that you're catching the replay. But for those of you who are joining us live, if you guys want to join in this conversation, we'd love to have you to chime in. Good language. Good words, right? So
I'm feeling that.
So it is Sunday, late afternoon, just before my tummy's grumbling for dinner. So, but yeah, so we're just jumping on just to say hey and wishing everybody a happy Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
So how are you doing, Amy?
I'm great. Great. For me, it's a day of love, of self-love, and I am really loving it. So
beautiful. I see all the hearts behind you and your on your shelf. So you've got the hearts and you've got follow your heart. And so that is just really what this whole conference is all about, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, isn't that what life is about?
Forget about that though, don't we?
Yeah, it's so easy to get busy doing a million other things and forget what it's all about. So yeah, that for me, that's exactly what this conference is about and what my mission is in this little world.
And can you talk a little bit more about your mission?
Yeah, I have a mission, and I've known it for a long time, to be a spark of joy and sunshine in the lives of other people. So that is my mission, and I use my story and my life to do that. So I'm a storyteller, and I have some really great stories, as we all do, in my life that enable me to inspire other people. So.
And it's so important for us to be able to recognize how we inspire others, right? So other people are watching us all the time. And so, yes, they're watching us because we're here and we're presenting. But I mean us as in like just other humans, right?
Yeah.
And that's one of the things that I find that is so incredible about these conferences is that because it's not just for working women, it's not just for women who are entrepreneurs or anything like that. It really is about women coming together. And so one of the things and I've said this on many lives already, is that for me, it's being able to make that connection with some of the other women, and I learn from them as much as they learn from the other speakers or myself or whatever. Is that when we do those breakout sessions, is that and our other conferences haven't had any formal breakout sessions because we've had that free time, and that's where we've been able to like break out and have, because they've always been in person. So now we have formal breakout sessions. So we actually have formal times when we're actually going to be broken into different rooms where we actually get to have like genuine conversations with people. So I'm really looking forward to how that's going to come.
Sorry, do you know that I am like busting with excitement to be a speaker at this conference, but more so, I'm so excited about the community and the connection and everything that is going to inspire and add and contribute to my life. Like those breakout sessions, I can't wait to hear people's stories and where they're at. And I just think that's such a beautiful, beautiful thing to give people permission to lean into and share who they are and where they are. And, you know, I can't wait. I'm so excited.
Well, and one of the things that we did was we set up, and I'm still kind of mulling around whether or not it's going to be like immediately after each session. But at this point, that's the way that I've got it, is that after each session. But after having done another breakout session we had on Thursday, is that what I'm thinking is that might be more effective is that we actually keep the breakout session till after a couple of the speakers to be able to give us a longer time to chat. Because one of the things that I found in this other networking meeting that we actually attended and we did the breakouts is that we found that there wasn't enough time for us to be able to have that chat. So I'm not sure 15 minutes between each one, because that's the goal at this point, or doing like after two people doing 30 minutes and having that. So I think that might be where I'm leaning towards. But right now, in terms of like the planning, it's set up so that it's 15 minutes after each presenter that we have a chance to be able to go into having those breakouts. And the reason for that initially was because a lot of times we have it's like top of mind in terms of our conversations of like, oh, I want to be able to talk about that specifically. And if we get to wait until after the second speaker, then it might happen that the conversation might get changed a little bit in terms of
Right.
that conversation, but I don't know. We'll see. So
Yeah.
I'm going to put it out to the rest of the speakers and to the exhibitors and see what everybody's feedback is. I'm just finishing typing up the draft, and so that people can kind of give us an idea as to, okay, yes, let's do it this way or let's do it a different way. So we'll play around with that, and because we still have a few weeks to be able to play around with those like fine detailed
Right.
things. So like I'm really super excited.
Yeah, I am too.
So we are down to, like, with it being Sunday, we have we have so we're on by Sunday in 3 weeks, and on Sunday we'll be finishing off our like, can you believe that? Like,
that's
in 3 weeks
crazy.
ending. And so like I can't believe that it's already been that. And when I was talking to Lori earlier today, it was like I just realized that we have been getting to know each other in the back end, with the speakers and the exhibitors, that we've been doing this for over a month now. So like we've been like into 6 weeks of getting to know each other backstage. So that's actually
it's gone by so fast.
It has.
Yeah.
And only 3 more weeks to go. And but registration is only like this week. So by Thursday, registrations are closing. We have the Valentine's Day, that self-love that we're all
a great special.
And so I've had a lot of questions about that. People have asked a lot of questions as to like, well, why is it cheaper now than the early bird? But we were lucky and fortunate to have an anonymous donor that normally comes in and provides free tickets for a number of different women. But what we chose to do this year with it being virtual is that we actually took that money and spread it around across the board, so that whether we can have more women participate at a cheaper rate for Valentine's Day. So that's where we were able to do that. So like that's pretty exciting, because normally we would have like 3 different women who would be allowed to attend, and in this case we actually are able to have more than that, which is great. So
I love it.
Yeah, so, and they allow us to be able to do that at whichever way that we want to. And so normally we've been able to reach out to different agencies locally to say, okay, so we have these 3 tickets. Let's see if we can get some women in. And instead, we've decided to put it across the board so that we can actually try and reduce the rate for more, to be able to offer that self-love to everybody. So,
wow, what a beautiful gift.
So I am super excited. So what's your favorite thing, Lori? Like, Amy, I was talking to Lori earlier. So what's the thing that you're like most excited about?
With the conference?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. The connection. I'm most excited to connect. And when I'm speaking, typically it's in person, but I've become accustomed to Zoom. So I love to connect, and I love to see that aha moment of that spark of inspiration for other people. So I'm really excited about that. Just the opportunity to move and inspire other people, it lights me up. So that's what I'm excited about, to see that happen. It just gives me joy.
Beautiful. And that's one of the things that I really like about the fact that we're setting it up through Zoom, is that we actually get to see the other participants, right? Yeah. So everybody else that's there, we actually get to see firsthand how they're doing, what's going on. Of course, there's the option of turning off your camera, but we're going to strongly encourage women to be able to keep their camera on, simply because we want to be able to have that connection. So that we can get to know each other and our faces and our smiles and all the different things that are actually going on. So we definitely want to be able to have that interaction. And Zoom still allows us, so even though we're going to ask people to mute while presenters are speaking, but and depending on the speaker, because some speakers can't be interrupted while they're doing things, but for those that can be interrupted and say, hey, I have something that I want to be able to share, still being able to have that unmute and allow them to be able to have that conversation, so that we can still have that direct impact and conversation wherever it is that we can. So again, of course, we want to try and keep everybody muted so that we don't have the background noises, so that if you're not the one talking, that we're not hearing your husband planning whatever you're having for dinner, that kind of thing. But otherwise, like, if you're part of the conversation, making sure that we have that, because I think that connection is like so important as well. Like, so that is the biggest part of my my goal for the conference is always about that connection. So I'm loving how technology wise, we can actually do this and bring people together from all over the world. So
I'm so excited.
So where are you from again, Amy?
Springfield, Missouri.
Okay. So you're where it's nice and warm then, right?
No, this is the cold. I think this is the coldest we've had in years. Like, we're breaking records right now. Okay. It was negative when we woke up this morning.
Did you guys get snow?
Well, we've only gotten a little bit. They forecasted like 6 to 12 inches. Now it's 3 to 6, okay. But
yeah, so
we're not as cold as you are.
No, we're always in the minuses. We're in like, I think my brother-in-law posted that it was minus 29 with the wind chill this morning.
Absolutely not. So you have short sleeves on.
That's because I'm indoors. So, but I put my sweater on and I take my sweater off so as the heat kicks in, then it's like, okay, take my sweater off. And then as soon as it kind of starts to die down again, then, but yeah, so, and sometimes, it's, I do have short sleeves on, but I always have a sweater nearby.
I'm just like, anything I can do to not go outside.
The joke is, like, with us being on lockdown, is that it's even worse for me than usual, because it's always been like in the wintertime is that I go from house to home to house, like that's it. Like, so I mean, work to home, or like, so in the car, out of the car, like that's the extent of what it is that I do in the wintertime. And so even to get the car started, my husband is very kind that he actually goes and starts the car, sometimes begrudgingly, but he's the one that actually volunteers. So that's on him. But I'm fortunate because I get to actually go back into a nice warm car, because being in a cold car is not my thing. Being outside is not my thing. So I'm looking forward to spring. I'm looking forward to being able to start walking again, and because we've got beautiful terrain where we are. So being able to walk by the water and that kind of thing. I have my walking partner that she and I are anxiously waiting to be able to get started with that. So
yes.
Yeah, so I can't wait
to see things blooming again. I know we all need our seasons, but I'm ready for the bloom. So,
well, and we have a tree because I have a wellness center, and we actually had a tree that was the horticulturist had actually brought in, and she put a tree in the barrel, and so we brought it inside so that it can so that we can keep it safe, obviously. But then when we brought it in, the leaves started falling off. And I'm like, oh my God, it's dying in here. It's not doing well. And then it's like, duh, it's a tree. It's supposed to lose its leaves. To clue into that. It's like, well, it still needs to go through the season, even though I brought it inside. But now it's starting to bloom the new leaves. And so it's blooming it earlier, obviously, because it's inside, but it's actually going through the bloom. So I'm like, oh, this is so cool. I actually get to see the tree come back to life.
That is awesome. It's funny, the things we don't think about. I brought some things in and I did the same thing. I was like, I brought them in and they all died. And my friend, who's a total plant lady, was like, they're supposed to. I'm like, oh.
Okay. Yeah. So sometimes it takes us a little while to clue in.
Yeah.
I can nurture it. It can be all loved in here, and it'll actually keep blooming.
No, it didn't work.
It goes through the seasons. It doesn't have a choice.
Yeah, we have to allow those natural cycles to take place.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to being able to put beautiful things outside again and be able to be outdoors. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to that. So is there anything else, Amy, that you wanted to share, that you wanted to talk about before we head off?
I don't think so. I'm just so excited.
Well, this is great. And so I'm super excited too. And and you always know when I start to get super excited because I start talking really fast. That's my French that comes out in me. It's like mile a minute. So, but yeah, so I want to tell everybody that we are super excited. Tomorrow, 2:22 p.m. Eastern, the price goes back up to its regular price. So don't forget to take advantage of the this opportunity. We start on Friday evenings at 6 p.m. Eastern. We go through until 10 o'clock that night, and then we start again 9 until 10 on the Saturday, and then we are 10 until 4:30 or 5:30. I can't remember off the top of my head. And then we also have the opportunity for us to be able to just network and connect from 7:30 until I don't even remember. I don't even remember what time, but there is a networking time right after we're done, where people can stay on. Because I know that when we host a physical conference, is that there's that lingering that happens after the retreat. And so I thought, well, how can I do that? Because people aren't going to have that opportunity. And so we're just going to have just a forum where everyone can just chit chat and have conversation about the weekend or whatever else that they want to chit chat about. And so we're going to have that forum available as well on the Sunday evening. So, so super excited. And
do you have the speaker days in place yet? Like the schedule for who's going to be speaking when? Have I missed that?
So that's what I'm actually working on. So you're going to be able to find out. You're going to be able to find out, because we want to make sure that anybody who's in Australia or the UK that are speaking, that they get to choose those times first. But we also have speakers that are doing some specific things that are like movement or that kind of thing. So we want to make sure that people are in that space. So playing around with those and
so many details.
So, and we don't want to have it's just who's speaking and when and what they're talking about as well, as much as, even though I don't know everybody's like exactly what people are going to say and what they're going to be talking about, is that we don't want to have we just want to make sure that it's uplifted in the different times, because we don't want to trigger people too much all at the same time, right? So one trigger and then the next trigger of memories. And so, because sometimes stories will actually trigger people's emotions. So we just want to make sure that we kind of lift those spirits in between, because even though the end result of the conversation is still uplifting, is that there's still potentially some triggers that happen. So we just want to make sure that we have all those things, all those fine details that we don't necessarily think about, right? So
yeah, it's so much in the details that people just miss when they're not doing the planning, right? When they show up, they're like, this was beautiful. And you've worked day in and day out for so long.
So I will have a schedule for you guys in the back end. So in our Facebook group, in our private group. And so I will have that. I'm hoping by the end of this evening, I'm going to have the draft out, and we'll be able to kind of fine tune some of the details that way. So. But yeah,
beautiful.
So, and then to everyone else, you won't get it until you guys won't see that final detail until you guys get your swag box, because it'll be inside the swag box.
I can't wait for the swag box. One of my love languages is gifts, and I'm like, I can't wait.
Well, you're getting some beautiful gifts, Amy. There's some really beautiful things that are actually coming your way. So
I'm so excited.
So those are the things that are happening. And so super excited. And again, you don't want to miss out to sign up before Monday, tomorrow, at 2:22 p.m. So definitely want to be able to get in there so that you can have the 222 rate. And for people who are in Amy's neck of the wood, where you are in the US, it'll be a little bit cheaper because there's the exchange rate. So you get it a little cheaper than we do. So definitely looking forward to connecting with everybody, and have a fabulous day. Bye, everybody.
Thank you.